Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be reflecting on something. Last week, we did something we have never done before. We showed Bambi being put to sleep, one of our dear dogs, a dog that we rescued nearly 3 years ago, a dog that we saved, that we fought for, that we cared for every day, even if there were a lot of problems because she had a neurological condition that was degenerative, so it was getting worse and worse, and we knew from the very beginning that we were gonna get to this point, and we took care of her. And I tell you, sometimes when you watch our videos, you don't realize the amount of hours, the amount of effort, the amount of care that it goes into taking care of a dog like Bambi, or a cat, or anything, or a crocodile, doesn't matter. Sacrifice, commitment, love, and care, constant for years. But the other day, we reached a point, the end of the road. The end of the road happens when the quality of life of an animal has deteriorated to the point that there's no way back. There's no improvement. There are no drugs, no treatments that can improve her situation. When it gets to this point, when life is unbearable for her, we put it to sleep. Now, I understand. Let's Adopt, this organization has been built on the story and on the principles that we fight for them till the end. And we don't break our promise. But this was the end. We rescue an animal in extreme conditions. We take him to the hospital and we go full ahead. Really. At that point, usually, quite a number of people tell us that the animal should be put to sleep. But no, because the animal has not reached the end of the line. Because we know, and we know better, that with care, with medical resources, with the financial resources of you, of our friends, we can really do a lot. And the vast majority of times, these animals make it, and they recover. And they go on to have, I was going to say long lives. Sometimes they are not too long, but very good and happy lives. But eventually, it's going to get to the point, it's going to be the end of the road. And I tell you, it's much better than it gets to the point earlier than later. Imagine how it will be if we died before our animals. It will be catastrophic. So, Bambi got to that point. Bambi got to the point where she couldn't stand up. Many people say, well, maybe you can give her a wheelchair. For a dog to be on a wheelchair, he needs to have command of his limbs, of his front limbs. At least he needs to be able to move forward. Otherwise, the wheelchair is not a chair. It's just a place to drop the animal and stay still. Plus, in Bambi's case, it was even worse than that, because she was constantly twitching and she was falling all the time. She had no equilibrium. Now, has any of you ever had vertigo? Vertigo is a very painful condition. Not because it's painful per se, but because you're constantly dizzy and you fall. You have the impression that you're falling. Sometimes you don't fall, you stay still, but you still have that feeling. But imagine Bambi was falling. So she wasn't only feeling it, she was falling all the time. And then some of you say, well, you can put someone 24 hours a day to take care of Bambi all the time, just to keep her alive for a few more days or weeks. Okay. Will that person do that in her own home? How easy it is to say, well, you just put some resources in taking care of this animal. Will you do it? Will you do it for your own animal? Chances are you wouldn't. Because it gets to a point where you realize it's too painful, both for the animal and for you. Nobody has life. I don't know if I'm explaining this properly, but I think I am. Now, I also noticed something that's very interesting. many people, the vast majority of people, I would say 95%, probably even more of the comments understood why we did. And this has happened because all these people have gone through the same thing that we did. At this point, in 2026,
That's correct.
2026, the vast majority of members of this community have had dogs or cats, and the vast majority of us have been in this situation. We all have been at the vets when they have told us it's the end of the line. There's no cure for this. Some of us, they put the dog to sleep in the hospital. Some of us brought the animal home, waited a few more days, like we did with Bambi, and then we let them go. But I think very few of us, knowing that this was the end of the line, decided to take the animal home and let her die at home, suffering. Now, this is why the vast majority of people understood. And I think this community is very special for this, because you all understand that when it's time to fight for an animal at the hospital, with treatments, with surgeries, you are behind us, you support us. But when we reach to the point where the animal has no quality of life, where there's a lot of pain and we can't do anything with pain management drugs, you know when we reach the point, and you trust us in the choice. And I think that's what makes this community so special. So we have built Let's Adopt the concept of not euthanasia, but not euthanasia at all cost. Always. No, of course, we put animals to sleep when they reach the end of the line, but not before. This is essential to understand us, our work, and who we are. And this is why sometimes you read these comments and people don't understand, just because, well, they don't understand us yet. Sometimes people arrive to us because of a video, but when you see all our videos together, the whole process and everything, then you really understand what it is that moves us. Just a painful reflection, but a necessary one, especially because most of us are the same boat. We all have animals. We all have animals that are getting old, and there will be a point when they will have to let us. We will have to continue to spare them pain, because there's no quality of life. Sometimes people love their animals so much, but so much, that they cannot contemplate the possibility of ever doing that. And I understand that, and I respect that. But clearly, you have to do something, and bringing the animal home for her to suffer without any treatment and without any palliative care is not an option. No. In time, people get to understand. You just have to go through this a couple of times. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for listening to me. This video was different. Tomorrow, more fun with the dogs at the great house. I'll be picking on Larkhill or making jokes about Maribel. But today, it was serious. Take care.